Let's do it. Okay, that is us recording. Packy Lee, thank you very much for joining me here on The Written Word.
Thanks, Ryan. Brilliant. Thanks
Really
very much for
appreciate
having me.
So tell us this: what are you reading, or do you do stuff on Audible, or do you do video podcasts? What's your content of the kind of written word?
I do. Well, I'd say the scripts, yes, because I'm reading the script a minute. I do. I like Joe Rogan's podcasts. I like listening to Joe because I love UFC, which is fair enough, but his podcasts are completely not anything to do with that. But his mindset of a fighter and a trainer is something that I admire a lot of as a human. And
yeah, he everything in life. It's amazing.
He really does. Like, he's absolutely brilliant. From Elon Musk, you know what I mean?
Did you see that Elon Musk one? It was 3.5 hours. I went to myself, I'll do half.
No problem.
And before I knew it, 3.5 hours.
You have to go with it because you're in that room. Yeah. It's the same with Matthew McConaughey. So when you have Matthew McConaughey on one podcast, then you're going to Elon Musk, then you're way down to Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Like, these guys are great in their own right, including Joe. But now they're in a conversation, you feel like you're involved in it, you know? And at times you feel like you've asked the question that they're answering. You feel that, you know, you get that sense that I would have asked that. I would have asked, if I was in that room with him, had he asked that question? And I don't know, I just think, I think the amount of subjects he covers is fantastic. His knowledge is incredible. I mean, I never thought that for 1 minute that he would come off with half the stuff. Like, there must be some serious research done in his podcast, or he's just a very serious, knowledgeable person and knows a lot about little different things, you know. Yeah. Which is great.
It's strange. You see the muscle guy, meathead tattoo. He's also a stoner, and then he's coming out with philosophies with whoever it is there, and you're going, okay, now I feel we would. I don't know.
He's also a motivator. He's also somebody who trains very hard in the gym. He's also a fantastic commentator. Like, I mean, like, he's not up there with.
See when he's not on. See when he's not on the fights, like the fight night ones. He's missed a few because
you just notice
we're glued every Saturday night at UFC 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Done. No problem.
If you're watching the fight and you're going, I wish Joe was here telling me what's going on.
Just to hear that confidence, to hear that sort of stature coming in, and the way he talks about things, the wham, bam, the bang, bang, you know, he constantly just, you know. And so that's one of the podcasts I'm into. As far as reading's concerned, I don't really get the chance to read books as such, hence why audio books have been quite good. And every time I lift a book, I get a script, and then I have to jump to the script, and then I can't go back to the book because now I'm lost in this script or this world, and then I want to get that job, or I'm in the middle of going for that job, or I'm doing that job. And that's what happens to me. But I read books like they're scripts, and I get involved in them as much as possible. And funny enough, we're talking about this today because it's International World Book Day today. Yeah. So there you are. And it would have been one of the special days that every kid gets dressed up, goes to school as their favorite character from a book. And then they came home with a book, or they'd have brought that book with them, and somebody got to read, you know. And that's teaching the kids in school at a very young age what books are, how important they are. They've got their own special day, but you know, we're learning from these every day. I mean, look, I'm on set at the minute. We're constantly hearing scripts, every single one of us. It's a bit different now. We've all got iPads, and we just stroll through wee mini iPads, you know, wide up the crew and stuff, you know what I mean? I know all this stuff before I get there. Well, I'll be in big trouble if I didn't.
You 3 kids now, Packy, isn't it?
3 kids.
2 girls and a boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 girl and 2 boys.
1 girl, 2 boys.
1 girl, 2 boys. Fola, Shana and Dallin. 13, 10 and 6.
Handful.
So different groups, different ages. Homeschooling is hard for the wife at the minute because she's doing it all, and she's trying to do it in different brackets because it's different homeschooling, it's different classes, you know what I mean? Also, they're all Irish, so you know, I can't help them because I don't speak Irish, so I don't know what they're talking about, which is terrible. And that's just the way out of the homeworks. But yes, I have a wee bit, you know, of course, but there's no way I could compete with my 10-year-old son. I can't compete with my 13-year-old daughter. She just done her GCSE A-level or GCSE Irish. and now moving on to A levels
At
already.
13?
At like 13, so she all I knows what's.
Wow.
I'm going like, wow, and they're all doing that. Just man, that's the age they're at, where
Yeah.
the Irish language has them making sure that they're doing that exam before. So I suppose because they're taught the language at such a young age, it then frees them up to learn other subjects more in secondary school, because in secondary school they speak Irish. And like, I mean, it's a daunting thing, but it's great. Look, listen, like us Fola, we took Fola out to Spain a few years ago on holiday, and we took all the kids, but you know, but her in particular, she's listening to the Spanish, and then all of a sudden she's coming up and going, "I can get you a coffee here," and I'm going, "What?" And she's going, "Por favor, cafe latte," and all this, and I'm like, "What? What did she say?" And then the wee waiter's talking back there, and then she's, you know, trying to engage. And see, multilingual is something that when you're taught it, it starts to stick and go with like glue until you as a young kid. Whereas even me now, sometimes it's hard to do that. You know what I mean?
I struggle with English. Do you know what I mean?
I know, mate. Tell me about it. Sure, look at me. I'm dyslexic. I'm the clue.
It's interesting that a good mate of mine who I've known from was about 10. He went to the Irish school, fluent in Irish, and has really excelled in life. One, because he's a very motivated person, but I often thought, is it due to having that bilingual thing at such a young age?
Yeah.
Just being able to adapt and learn a lot quicker because you've had
They-
languages, you know.
90% of people that speak two languages don't just speak two languages, they speak three or four.
Yeah.
Or they know two very well, but they also are fluent in two.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I totally get it completely. I understand it completely. I'm totally in it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm in awe of what my kids are doing. Hence why I'm very supportive of what they're doing. And I love listening to it. And when we are talking it, I try my best to engage in it. But
yeah,
I mean, not at their level, you know. I have to say, what do you mean? I mean, no, not just that word. What's the whole sentence mean? So that happens, you know.
And I've been doing a wee bit of homeschooling with Finton, and my reading level wouldn't be great. So although I've had umpteen jobs that have involved lots of reading and writing reports and whatever, my reading level would be quite low. So what I do is just take a load of work home, and I have to really kind of plod through stuff. So
yeah,
you know, working in theatre, I'm just scanning scripts for anything to do with whatever department I'm in. So I kind of have to double up on the time it takes, and that, I mean, I suppose that was just not really getting into it when I was younger, and now just catching up, going, right, well, I've at least got to be better than my 14-year-old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of blag it in meetings or do whatever, like, or you just listen to what people are saying. Although, mind you, I haven't tried audiobooks for some reason. Someone's going to be, Mick, just get audiobooks and stick them and go out for a run. But I kind of like the turning of the page thing. Do you know what I mean?
I like the break and the turn of the page as well. I like also going back on it. It's something that the audio books and that, you know, I like to actually go back there and then to like the last page just to refresh it. Look, listen, I'm the guy that does thing in 20. I'm at 20 minutes. It's like you got to read a bit for 20 minutes, like fully concentrate on what you're reading, and then you got to break for like 10, 15. And I don't mean like break and go to your phone. I mean, break and think about the 20 minutes that you've just read.
Right, okay.
What was in those 20 minutes? What can you think of? Right, Susie, right, what was she wearing? Red jacket, right, we've got all that. She was in the park. Yep, dead on, got all that. Right, okay. What happened in that park? It was a guy. Who was that guy? Get your man's name. Bang, back to the script, your man's name. Bang. This is all within your break of your 20 minutes. And it's the same as reading. It's the same as learning your driving test. And it's the same as everything you're doing. You need to do it in brackets. You need to let your mind adjust to what you've just learned or read. And then you try and push it to 30 if you can. And that's your full half hour. I actually have pulled it back to 15 to concentrate more on what I'm reading than the 30. Also, I'm a sucker right now over the last few years of not just playing through a script, but actually reading every single word, every full stop, every comma, every pause, understand the reason the pause is there. I've just been watching I've just spent a few years watching masters at their work. Like they are the top of their craft, and I'm very proud to be in the presence of these people, no matter what the scene is, and watching them and do their craft, and watching every word and every symbol and every single syllable and every single full stop is there for the reason. So I'm a sucker for doing that. That's pulled me back to 15, because on the 30, I would have learned everything, blah, blah. I think I know my lanes dead on. I know my lanes. I just don't know I don't know your lanes. Whereas the 15 minutes is not just teaching me my work, it's teaching me your work. It's teaching me what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, blah, blah. Also, it's very important at the minute with filming, because like we're filming like episode 4, scene 24 in the morning, but then in the afternoon we're filming episode 3, scene 10.
Right. Okay.
And then in the evening we're doing episode 1, scene 4.
How do you get your head around that?
That's for you to get your head around that. By the time the camera moves, that's it. Now you have costume changes most of the time. You've got some type of makeup that has to be added or taken off or whatever. But that's all the body work of the car. You're the engine, and the engine needs to know where the bloody hell it's going. And that's you sort of need to know. So when you're doing your 1 or 2 days filming and gigs, and you just come in and you do your bit, it's very simple to do that because you just concentrate on your wee bit. But when you become more and more involved in these series that take 6 hours of television, and I'm not the only actor saying this is everyone. There's moments where you have to then just adjust to where you were, and you have to go and ask yourself, what's the scene before this? Where was I? Have it maybe on the wall.
Especially if your last scene was something that's 2 or 3 episodes ahead, and you're skipping the one we were earlier. Presumably you're going, right, well, my character doesn't know what I've just filmed this morning.
So I was angrier. Hold on, was I not angry in that scene? And that's the difference now. Especially with the likes of the award ceremonies that happen, your Golden Globes, the BAFTAs. You have to understand these actors aren't going in and just doing these in day-to-days and just going through the journey of what you watched. They're going through a completely different journey.
That's the difference in terms of you're not on the rehearsal room for a new piece of writing for 4 weeks and then going out and doing it in the sequence that it's meant to be.
In sequence, and I miss that about theatre, because that's the running. Or I love theatre. It's very clear to say. I know what I do. I know you know what I do, but the energy you get from theatre is incredible. But the journey you go on, because you start the night here, and you have to end at a certain point, and the journey has to happen. And doing that journey, I love that. That's getting involved. And sometimes it's just a wee bit harder to do the journey in television, and that's why.
So you watch these shows, you've got to deliver that same skill in television, although it's just a mad jigsaw puzzle mirage. You have to know exactly where you are, where everybody else is, and it could be 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night. That's
what the
how do you learn that?
Way to come through. You just gotta be disciplined to learn it that night. You gotta be disciplined to know exactly where you are in the script. You gotta know the script. First of all, you can't just come in and know your bit. When it's like that, you need to know the whole show, the whole storyline. Yes, there's stuff that your character wouldn't know because maybe somebody's going to betray you, or maybe somebody's going to fall in love with you later on in it. But you wouldn't know that as a character, but you need to know that as a person, because there's a certain journey we need to go through here. The director's great at that. Directors are always great at knowing exactly what mood you should be in, where you are. Now remember where you are. The director working with at the minute, Anto's very, very, very good at that. He knows everyone's journey, where they are, where they've been, what colour shoes they had on the time beforehand. He knows what's happening. He's the type of guy that will pick something up very, like, you'll not be able to get a handkerchief past this guy. That's what I'm saying. You can't just throw something in and get on with it. He'll know. But then he's also at the level where he knows the angle he wants the camera. Look, listen, there's certain directors are directors, and I love that. And there's certain directors that are directors and artists. I mean, like their mind is like in a different world because they're so good at what they do. And they, when you're working with them people, it's great to go on that train journey and know what's right. Yes, where am I? Know what's right. See, right, yep, dead on. Right, okay, I know where I am. So that's the difference with the characters. But if you look at somebody like I don't know, recently what was flying out there, like look at The Crown. Look at the amount of scenes in The Crown. Look at the amount of actors in The Crown. Now look at the journeys those actors have went on in The Crown. Now we watched it and it's just gone through like normal. We train, brilliant, that's great. But those guys were all over the place filming.
Yeah.
It's, so when Olivia Colman wins the awards at times and the other guys have all won the awards this year, is there any wonder? It's absolute top class work because they're not just going on, they're going on a journey every day to get to them different points. You know what I mean? And that's what's special about it. And that's why I think the 15 minutes, getting back to that, are very, very important to read the 15 minutes and give it a break. Acknowledge what you've read, digest what you've read. Don't go to your phone. Don't go and answer the door. Don't, stay in the zone, but don't read no more.
Yeah.
You maybe go back and go over the pages.
It's 25 years of TV, film, and theatre to get to the point where you are now to fully understand that. You've done a lot of TV, you've done bucket loads of theatre, you've done films. Do you think all those experiences combined, or is this something that you've had from when I probably first met you in the Arts Theatre doing Panto in '96?
No, I know, I remember that. No, Mick, I'm one of my best Pantos, by the way.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Yes, I don't think there's a day at work where you don't learn something.
Right.
No matter what your job is. I'm very open about that. I know every day is a learning day. I'm very aware of that. I didn't go to drama school, so I can't answer for the guys that went to drama school. Maybe these guys learned all this in drama school in the 3 years they were all there. I'm not 100% sure on that.
That's something that I wanted to chat to you about. I've interviewed a few actors. There was Caroline, Glenn, Dan, none of whom went to drama school. The areas they were from weren't areas where people went to drama school. It wasn't, you didn't even, to be honest, you didn't know about drama school until you were involved in a play or a gig or something else, and you went, what, you can go and do this. Some of them went off to do drama school, some of them didn't. Do you think that it has possibly helped you, that the fact that you didn't go to drama school, in terms of you deliver something authentic and it's not this polished thing out of a box, or is it just potluck?
No, I know a lot of the actors at the minute that I'm working with haven't been to drama school, and some of the best actors that I've ever worked with, ever. Like, I mean, on this fucking planet, they're out of this world. So that's straightforward there. I'm just talking about the knowledge of what you'd learn in the way the filming works, the structure of it, etc. These are only things you're going to, and plus, let's be honest, it's all down to the script. The drama school can't teach you what the script's going to be in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
You've got to be on, drama school may teach you that, yes, at one point you're going to have to cry in the morning, but in the afternoon you're going to have to laugh. And I get all that. But I never got the chance because I had no money to go to drama school. I'm not making a big deal out of it or a joke out of it. I will always wonder what if. So don't think that I won't. I always will. I will always ask myself, what if? What if I was...
My personal opinion would be that if you went to drama school at, in the early 2000s, when you were, it probably would have been worse for you, because you have a natural thing that you bring to a set, or in my experience, in a rehearsal room, that is the unpolished diamond, and that's what makes the characters. They're absolutely true. Whereas maybe there'd be a possibility if you went to drama school to teach you how to polish it and make it all shiny, and it's grand for certain types of things.
Maybe,
but possibly.
Well,
not.
I know for a fact the reason why me and Jared Quinn, as I know him, but Jared Jordan, got the roles in the National Theatre at that time.
Yeah,
was because we didn't go to drama school.
Yeah,
because we had raw. Like, the director was fucking frightened of us. That's why he cast us. He says, I was doing Panto on the waterfront. Couldn't make the audition in London. Begged him to see me. They arranged to finally see me in a bar in London, right? In a back bar, right, which was Peter's bar. I don't know what you call it, Peter's bar, Paul's bar. It was one of them weird bars, you know. You just knew fundamentally that nobody goes in here unless you're from around the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I go in, I meet the director, and it's all great and everything's brilliant. And when he cast us, he cast like me and George, best buddies.
Yeah, yeah.
He auditions 3 weeks before me, and me and him get cast as best buddies in the play.
Perfect.
Like, nobody mentioned each other's names. Nobody said anything about the other person's audition. I never mentioned George's name in the room. He never mentioned my names. We're at the end of the day, look, we're all friends, but we're out to get work here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're both cast together in London, going to National. And when we got there, I asked the director, why? Because, you know, we're friends. Why did you do this? Did you know? And he says, no, it was just pure raw from you two. And everybody else came in was trying to be you. And that's sort of a compliment, and that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
But then what that meant is all we have to do is learn your lines and be you.
Yeah.
And that's a bit disheartened as well, because I want to act. I want to be somebody. I want to do something. I want to create. And you know, at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about putting on a story and telling it truthfully the best way.
Was it
so it takes a bit of time to learn that.
The big picture?
Yeah, mate, brilliant. What a show, you know.
Yeah,
sweep the boards.
Yeah.
Every award, mate, we won it in London. What a show, what a cast.
Yeah.
The
what a writer. You know what I mean?
Oh man, Owen. You know, I mean, the reason I'm where I am is because of Owen McCaffrey. There's a couple of people responsible. I will do fucking Owen's back garden for him. All right, that's what I do. All right, let's be honest. I have done Since the Big Picture twice, London and Belfast. I've done Shoot the Crow, West End, and the Opera House twice. Right. I've done Mojo McEbo in Manchester at the Palace.
Right.
And I've done Mojo again, actually, for the Stranmillis thing at the time when I was only younger.
Yeah.
What else did I do for Owen? I've done something else. But yeah, these are Owen's the reason that I've been able to enjoy the non-drama school Packy, as you want to say it.
Yeah.
And that rawness of doing that and being that young kid to where I am now. But listen,
interesting, he was the first playwright I could read, right? Because when you
because of the brackets, he reads as you talk.
Yeah.
He rates as you talk. He rates as you want to read it.
Yeah. So
like doing is DOIN, not DOING. But that's because, and we spoke about this, that's not because of Owen and his writing. Owen can spell. Owen's a very clever man.
Yeah.
It's because he needs the actor to say it
that way.
Exactly that way.
Yeah.
And that's, mate, listen, Shoot the Crow, London, Trafalgar Studios.
Shoot the Crow was one of the plays that I read. And I mean, I would get plays depending on what role was in, where I'd scan through looking for lights or set or whatever. But when I started looking at writing, I picked up Shoot the Crow and I read it in one sitting and then went back and read it straight away again. I went, wow, this is the first time I've ever been able to read a script and really, yeah. And I was like, how did this guy do it? And that was one of the reasons I had a pump starting to write myself and went, right, I'm going to give this a go, because I just went, this is fucking unreal, like, so incredible writer.
Well, he's a conversationist.
Yeah.
There's a difference, and that writing's different. And again, it's like the bar. There's 18 people can have a conversation in the bar.
Yeah.
There'll only be one person who's able to write that conversation exactly how it's going to be said, and that's him.
And it's a strange thing that there's a lot more to it than you think there is. You know, some of it can come across as, you know, conversational stuff that you recognize, and then the more you read it or say it, the more you see the layers to it, and you're like, holy shit, man.
Mark, it's very important that we say this, because anybody listening to anything I do, I'm very adamant that I'm very clear. It's writers. Without the writers, there's no work. Without the writers, there's no TV. Without the writers, there's no theatre. Without the writers, there's no actor. They're all gone. All them jobs all depend on the writer. The casting directors, the writer. The producers, the writer. Everyone is waiting on the writer. Everyone. It's the only job that matters more than anything else ever, because it's the creation of it. It's the writing. And without the magic, totally, then without all that writing, without all that beautiful, like Stephen Knight, all these writers, like unbelievable talent, Owen, Gary Mitchell. Like, I mean, these people on this talent.
I was talking about him the other day to a friend of mine who is from East Belfast, and he's kind of involved in entertainment, but he hadn't heard of Gary Mitchell. I said, mate, you need to go and get some Gary Mitchell plays and read them. And he was like, he's someone who, he's not even that big into theatre, but I was going to him, just go down to Waterstones, get a Gary Mitchell play and read it. And he's from you will get it. Like,
he's one of my favourites. And again, he's another one of the writers that put me on that map, because he's writing characters that are real, which means I can play real characters. And then you work with the likes of Prime Cut, who bring in and get you to challenge yourself. They, they challenge me massively with shopping and fucking. Like,
that was huge,
changed me.
That was huge.
That's a big deal for me, because I had so much to do in it. Is like break the barriers had to be done, kissing another man, getting sexually involved with another man on stage. These things aren't something that I'm like feeling comfortable with at all.
You weren't that old, Packy, really.
No, I was young, man. I was only 18, didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew finally that I'd spoke to a few people and I knew a few people that auditioned at the time who were good friends. And I knew that the only comment that I heard that stayed with me the rest of the day was, you haven't got the balls. That's all. You haven't got the balls. You look, listen, say what you want. You haven't got the fucking balls. All right. There's no way. If you're offered that, there's no fucking way you're doing that. There's no way. And I'm there going right there on. Why? And they went, well, because listen, that's not the type of roles you play.
Yeah.
And he says, fuck that. No, I'm not going to become one of them guys that continues to play the little joyrider. He said, if I'm going to make a mark, and a serious mark, this is the moment I make it. So if I'm offered this job, I'm taking it. And then the phone call came. Thank God, I got offered it. And with Jackie and Emma holding my hand the whole way through it and promising me that I was all right, and Maria Conley and Richard Owen, these people surrounded me with massive love and security on stage. Man, you've no idea. I'm in the middle of doing a scene and people walked out. Like my mates get up off the stage and fucking up, literally in the fucking Mac. Like literally get up. Like I can see them leave. It's that small.
Yeah, the old Mac, because I worked there, it's a 96-seater venue.
Done.
And if one person leaves, everyone in the room knows that person leaves, and they have to walk across the front of the stage.
Yeah, I have to walk across my fucking light.
Yeah.
He's literally walked into my bedroom while I'm getting on with another guy to walk fucking out of the theatre. And I'm going, like, what,
Seriously?
And I seen it, and it's hard to not, I'm an actor, I'm not involved, blah, blah. But look, everyone's involved. You know what I mean? I'm standing on stage with fucking Comet Hill in the middle of London West End, and a girl answers her phone. Now, what do you think happened next? Next, she finished that conversation while we get on with the play. Didn't there fucking, she's lucky she still has the phone with Comet. You know what I'm saying? So that's the level there that,
that must have been 20 years ago, would that have been 20 years ago?
Yeah, that would have, I tell you exactly when Chapman fucking was. It was 9/11.
Right.
Again, another moment in life where as a young lad, you're going, what? I've been there. I was sent there as a kid. I went where all the Catholic and Protestant kids on the plane.
Yeah.
They have family out there. I've been to Twin Towers. What do you mean the planes hit them? And then in reality, you're going, I've stood there. I know exactly where that is in the world. And then that's the moment I was doing that show. Weird. But listen, it's the best decision I ever made was doing the show. The best decision I made as well and that they allowed me to make was keeping my own accent. I'm very, very serious. I know at the minute I change accents for the minute. I'm doing piggies now, like I says at the minute.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm in a hotel room. And I change accent, and that's fine. But this is a job that, you know, I didn't think I was going to be doing. This is 9.5 years later after an audition that was only meant to be for a day's filming.
Wow.
It's 9. So this is a bit of a journey I'm on. But that accent thing's different. When I done The Witcher, I was adamant that they kept me with my accent. I want my accent. You know, I want it. It's not that I don't want to put on an accent. I could easily have done the Polish accent, no problem. It's only a couple of lines. Realistically, I can nail that. But I just wanted my own. And Henry Cavill loved it. He said, "No, man, just let Packy keep his own accent. It's actually quite It's actually quite frightening." You know, and you're like, "Yes, Henry, you know, great, you know, thank you." And of course, the producers and the writers let me keep it because we know it's a book that we're doing, and you know, and there's a lot of people waiting on it, and they wanted to, you know, again, that's another job that I wasn't meant to be doing. Well, somebody else already done that job. All these other actors shot that like 8 months beforehand, but when they got something happened and they had to reshoot it, I don't know what, but they had to recast. And then I was just finished Peaky season 5, and they were able to fit me straight into it. And I literally had no idea what I was doing out there. I just shaved my head, and I'm sent training every day with all these amazing guys, you know.
In terms of that, whether it be the likes of shop in the fucking or sings or piggies or whatever, not only have you worked hard for them, but these aren't opportunities that just you get given. This is the thing where you go in and meet people, and whether you are what they were looking for or you become what they were looking for is down to your attitude and your craft and your hard work. And I suppose just when you mentioned the likes that you love watching Joe Rogan because of his discipline and his work ethic, that is something that you have always had from the moment I've known you. You always said you'd work twice as hard as any actor, and sometimes you'd be in the rehearsal room working twice as hard and then going and being a chef and working twice as hard. Where does that work ethic come from? What it's just that thing of you constantly going, I am going to be the best version of myself.
I think every day I need to go. Maybe need to go home exhausted every night. Is something that it's been in me. But I started washing dishes at 14 years of age.
Yeah.
And when I started washing dishes at 14 years of age, they're my friends, my lifelong friends now. I met my wife there. You know, like that's where it all happened. You know, Stranmillis, the other place, is where my dreams happened, realistically.
Yeah.
So the fact that I couldn't understand the reason why people were questioning me when we were working, but they were going, "Stop." And I'm going, "What do you mean? Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What? I'm going to work." Like, it's fucking 5 o'clock. Party, we've just finished rehearsals. And I went, "I know, but I start at 6. And they're like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I know, but listen, and let me explain, because you'll understand. Number one, I wasn't rushing to anywhere to do anything. You know what I mean? At the time I had no kids, I'm not going home to feed anybody. You know, I'm out working, I'm out trying to earn a living. And to be honest, Michael, I'm sure you know this, theatre wages weren't life changing.
Yeah.
It, you know, it was a wage, you know, and you're lucky at that.
Enough to get by.
Yeah, and it's nothing to do with the companies paying you. It's just to do with the funding and the arts and, you know, whatever. And that's all it is. So without getting into all that, I had an opportunity where the restaurant was open to 11. And if I do from 6 to 11, not only am I able to actually get a bite to eat up there, but, you know, I'm actually getting the free ride home because I didn't drive the time. So I'm going myself, right, well, bite to eat, that's another £5 saved. Taxi home, that's a tenner saved. Plus I'm getting paid for working. I'll be out 5:30, you know. So and then when we moved into the shows, what other people couldn't understand was, what are you doing working during the day? So I would have went to work in the morning and then worked all morning. And then from the morning time then till 5 o'clock, I had to take a break, went down to the theatre and I had a 7:30 show. Yeah. Look, there's one point I was doing rehearsals for Tinderbox in the morning, doing a show in the Lyric, which was the Scottish play.
Yep.
We're not in the theatre, so we can say Macbeth all we want. And then I was over doing a show in the Erica at like 11 o'clock at night. And then straight back to work the next morning. And to be honest with you, if delivery was out then, you'd have seen me on a bike driving down the Ormo.
Do you need
I don't know where
do you
I
need to
don't
be
know.
busy and active? Do you need to have your brain constantly in a gear?
No, I just think that if there's enough time to learn a wee bit more, there's time to do it this now and not tomorrow. And I just believe that I'm the same now.
Yeah, do what
I'm
you
the
can do
exact
today.
same. Listen,
I've done today.
Mac,
And
I flew home last week from, where were we? Scotland, Liverpool, Scotland. Doesn't matter. Both places. Actually, over the last 2 weeks, I've been Scotland, Liverpool. I fly home and I go to work.
Right enough.
Like, I know I'm shooting the series and all, and it's all great, but I have to go to work, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's done now, obviously remotely with the computer and stuff like that, which is great. And I'm not really getting to see anyone because I can't be getting, you know, COVID and bringing it anywhere. I need to be very aware of my social distancing and not being around people too much. But I mean, it's, you know, what am I going to do? Sit and wait?
You feel a responsibility to your other job outside of the Peaky Blinders bubble, that you have other team members and that company needs to get things done? Or
no, I'm my own boss there. I feel responsibility in the kids and my family to let them know that nothing's going to come to you very easily. And as much as people, with all due respect, who are cool, look and go, wow, he's in that show. I don't want you to ever think that. I need you to look at me like I'm daddy. And I need you to know that that's not the show, that's work. And that's paying the mortgage. And that's why I'm going to work, because I'm still paying the mortgage. And I need to try and bring that into them at the minute and trying to show them. But they know that. They're very aware. I go to work every day because I have to. Is the mortgage going to be paid if I don't go to work? Yeah, it will. But is that going to help me mentally? No. It's something that I need. I need to stay focused. I need to keep my brain switched on. The moment I turn it off, it's a fucking nightmare to get going again. Now my mind is wandering everywhere. I'm a wanderer. Now it's like 3 a.m. and you're not getting to sleep because you're worried. Worried about what? You know? Whereas if you're, you know, I always feel if you're working or being active, that you're not gonna.
So very much like a boxer or a UFC fighter or an athlete, it's easier to get in shape and stay in shape than it is to get in shape and go out, and then you spend your entire comp trying to get in shape as opposed to concentrating on what you're going to do. You just keep it right. I will keep busy and work and keep the dough coming in and keep my mind.
Look, it's a completely different life. When I'm in the middle of Budapest and people's running around grabbing your coffee and asking you, do you want to get your dinner? And you don't need to leave, Mr. Lee. We're getting it all for you. Have you any washing? Let's do your washing, Mr. Lee. Anything you need, Mr. Lee. Anything you want, Mr. Lee. And then I fly home and all of a sudden I arrive in a meeting and they go, listen, dickhead. You know, no. And they're sending me out the door. And I'm like how can you... I don't understand how to adjust it. At the minute, I'm getting older, turning 40 June. And I'm struggling to adjust. I'm struggling to adjust mentally this fucking seesaw that I'm on. And that's what it is.
You still do your shopping on Asda. The last time we met face to face was
I do.
on Asda. You know what I mean? So, you know,
I don't think I'll ever stop.
Very grounded. You kept very grounded. Like.
I know I'll have to, Mick. By God's earth, but I want to send somebody else to do my shopping or get it delivered when I know what I want to. I'm the one who does the cooking. I'm the chef. I'm going to do it.
Do you think that helps with the way you approach characters and script? Because as a person, you remain grounded. Do you think all of the characters, or maybe your choices as an actor, are all of characters who are grounded? Would that be a...
Maybe, yes, maybe. Well, some of them have, some of them haven't. Some of them, the characters are a bit bigger than normal.
Yeah.
Musical theatre. Every character's bigger than normal. So, you know, Panto, every character's quadruple the normal character. Those are the type of shows that weren't me. Those are the type of shows that use my energy.
Yeah. But I remember the days of doing pantos in the waterfront where we had like 80 shows in a run and 3 shows a day. You were going out and doing those 3 shows. And I think you were still doing a bit of chefing as well. And, you know, high energy shows, like high.
Yeah.
You cannot cheat 400 kids. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't. No, you can't. But that's that. I mean, that's from Sandy. That's the energy you need to bring day to day, and that's also the reason why I try and keep that energy every day, is because that energy's made me feel who I am and alive. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget playing buttons in the Waterfront Hall. I never forget playing Jester John in the Arts Theatre for Peter Quigley at 16 years of age. You know, these are things I won't forget because they're who I am. But Mark, I'm nobody. I keep telling people this, like, who the fuck am I? There's 150 people from fucking West Belfast alone who are well better off at what they do than I am. There's better actors out there than me. Fucking hell of a lot better actors than me. They live around the corner from me. I don't feel that I'm any different, any special than anybody else. What I do know is that I've done the hard graft.
Apart from the hard graft, there's also, you know, you're humble about your success and your success. I mean, when I turn on Netflix and see the opening credits and it says, you know, Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy, Packy Lee, you're like, holy fuck! Like you're, and obviously there's a whole other cast there. Like the entire cast is fucking phenomenal, male, female, the heap. Like, but when you see that up there, like that is a phenomenal achievement that may, possibly may not sink in until a few years after this program has finished. But I mean,
no, it has.
Phenomenal.
I get it. I'm very aware of it. It's just I'm very aware of other people. I'm trying to remind people that I'm going to be honest. There's not enough people, and I mean in my position. And I hate this because I don't feel like I'm in a position. I'm working hard to get where I want to be still, and I don't, like I said to you, I don't think I'm any special than anybody else. Like I mean that. And there's people above me, like they're my friends. They deserve fucking so much more. I mean, so much more. And it's just hasn't the apple hasn't fell yet in the right place for them. And I'm being honest about that. But one thing
is the word. Yet is the word.
Yet, and I mean that because I always believe that certain things fall at a certain time for people. I hope that's the case. But like nobody sits down and says this. Do you okay? What's it like being an actor? How do you feel when you fail? True. That's the one thing we're not prepared on. Everyone's going, so how'd you feel you got that job? Oh, what about that job? And all blah, blah. And nobody knows about the 180 jobs where I was told no.
Yeah.
And the heart-wrenching moments where I'm trying to get 40 quid up just to get a train home because I've no money.
That is the one thing that amazes me about actors in general, but probably even those that I know that are you know, roughly around the same age, hitting 40 odd, where you're going, you know, yes, people see that one job you got, but they didn't see the 15 auditions you went to that didn't happen, and the train journey home or the bus journey home or whatever else. And I have no idea, you know,
and nobody sees
mentally how you come back from that. You know, do you make decisions in your head at a certain point and go, okay, a no's a no, and just brush it off? Or
Mick, see, when your confidence is hit, everything in your whole entire body starts to shut down.
Yeah,
that's it. Confidence is 25% of what you're going to do today, 25% of what you're doing tonight, and 25% of what you want to do. That's your confidence. Your confidence is bringing you down the road because you have the confidence to walk down the road. Yeah. Not afraid of walking down the road. You're not head down, bang. You're head proud your way you go. Confidence is massive. So when you get a job as a young actor at 18 and 19, your confidence is fucking high swinging. Here we go.
Yeah.
But when you get 30 no's and your next audition is an advert for a local shopping centre and you've just to pick an apple.
Yeah.
And you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's at that stage you have to walk home because you've spent your taxi money getting to that audition. And that's the reason why I went chefing every morning, every night when I could, because I realized right away that I'm not going to be left in a position where I put all my eggs in one basket, where it's somebody else's job to tell me that they're not going to give me the job so I can't pay my kids.
Yeah.
It's not that you're not good enough. you just don't look right.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse, you know.
Yeah.
What's the crack with your ears? What? They're sticking out a wee bit. They're my ears, you know. What do you want me to do? You know, I've walked in the auditions and I've says, all right, how you doing? She went, you're not Chinese. I went, what? Says Packy Lee, you're not Chinese. I says, no, I'm not. Did you not even look at my photo? Says, I ain't got time for that. Fuck's sake. Next. Like I stood out there for 2.5 hours to come in here. And that's what you tell me. So at any one of them stages, you can break.
Yeah.
And mentally, you need to be strong. Mentally, that's why I continue to go every day on my normal day to day, because mentally, I need to be in the right position that when a script does arrive, I have the confidence.
Yeah.
I'm mentally ready. And the failures and no's behind me are gone.
Do you think that's why you like UFC? Because it's a big mental game
Yes.
where someone can suddenly can be a champion for 8 fights and then suddenly get 1 loss and they're on a 5-fight losing streak.
Well,
it's all a confidence thing.
Liverpool Football Club at the minute.
Right.
5 unbeaten. 5 times they've been beaten at home.
Right.
This is a club that was unbeaten for so many times. So getting beat once, twice, 5 in a row. That's confidence.
Yeah.
The guys they need the confidence back, every one of them, not just one of them, all of them. But let me say this, Mark, I'll ask you a question.
Right.
Is there such a thing as luck? Or is it persistence? Do we confuse the word and the ruling of our life with pure persistence, with luck? Or is it, nah, he's just lucky? Like, am I lucky I was at my audition? Or was I persistent enough to make sure that I phoned my agent and told him, I know it's maybe cast already. Apparently they've got somebody, but it's only a day's fucking filming. Can you see if they can see me here?
Yeah.
And that's after I've been told no by the lyric for Playboy of the Western World. Look, listen, I don't care. I get on well with the lyric. The lyric loved me as well. It's all great, but it wasn't good enough apparently, or it just didn't look right.
Yeah.
And then the next one on top of that was the panto for the Opera House. No. What? No. You just basically told me I had the job. I just had to fly to London. No, we want to go with somebody else. So all of a sudden, I had 4 no's with big jobs that I was sort of nailed on, as you would say, for. Like the hot favourite for. There's always a favourite for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And straight no's. So when you get a phone call to say, can you go to London now because they want to see you? Was it the persistence with me sitting with Richard and having another cup of coffee before I went home that he spoke about this thing called Peaky Blinders? And I mean Richard Dormer.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not available, man. I think they're looking at Gypsy. You done King of the Travellers. Why did you go up for this? And I went, give us the name of it, Richard. What do you call it? Peaky Blinders. Yeah, I'll have a look at that, see if I can get an audition. And literally, I was reading the script the next night with Lola Roddy, and the audition went through on an iPhone because I had no money. And then I'm on set, I'm doing the job, man. Like, you know, that's what happened. But not only was I doing the job, Mark, Sam Neill was late flying in. So they asked me to read Sam Neill's lines. Now,
Obviously,
there's a lot of Sam.
Yeah.
You know me, Mark. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah.
I didn't read Sam Neill's lines. I just read my lines because I have to do an accent and I want to make sure they're right. Do you know what I mean, Tom? I'm coming in with that, you know, and that's, I'm focused. You know, we worked me because when I arrived at the audition, because I flew over and they says, right, listen, just want you to go through this audition. They says, do you want to read for John? I was going to be reading for John. How's your Birmingham accent?
Right.
And
Okay.
I went, no, listen, no, I'm here for the Gypsy. Now, little did I know that John was a big major part, and because I had no script, and John's one of the brothers, I just knew, look, this time, if I'm getting any job at the minute,
it's the Gypsy.
It's the one I've worked on. Fucking, I need to nail this, you know. So when I went in, I just finished King of the Travellers. So the whole time I'm talking like this, you know what I mean? And he said, no, Jesus, no, calm down. Let's put a bit of colour in the ad and just sort of do something different. And Johnny Dogs was born in that room, and that's the way it worked. And when we were doing the whole like fighting scenes and with Jamie Moore and all the lads, like I just didn't sit there and watch them, even though I wasn't fighting.
Yeah.
I got involved. No, lads, what you want to be doing, sort of attacking from that angle. You come down, he needs to hit with a head there. Doesn't that, if the angle, yeah. And then all of a sudden I find myself involved and working well with Killian. And the one thing I says to Killian in that room that day before we went to shoot it was, listen, mate, I know it's just this wee scene, but for me to really nail this scene, I need to understand the reason I can speak to you about this is because we've been lifelong friends, you know, like kids. And if that stays there, it'll carry through. And he went, nah, man, it's fucking, he says your afterthought before thoughts class, let's go with it. And here we are 9.5 years later shooting Series 6. And yes, it's a big deal when your name's on screen and all that. That's all cool, but it's not to me.
I think it's a case of making your own opportunities, making your own luck.
Persistence. I just think, look, you won the lottery. Is that because you done your lottery numbers tonight? Or is that because you've been doing them for the last 23 years?
True. Yeah.
Persistent. Is that persistence or luck? I don't know, man. I asked the question. I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking it. It's a big deal.
There's definitely a thing where you can make your own luck or manifest your own thing. But it takes, going back to what you were saying, it takes confidence to do that.
Yeah, and that all comes from mental.
Certain thing to go, okay, I know this is the most insane thing in the world, and everyone's going to think I'm an nutcase, but I'm just going to plod on. And that's definitely just something that you say to yourself, actually, fuck it, I don't care. I'm just going to go for it. Like,
Mick, there's been moments, even this year, in the last few months, weeks, whatever, where I've had to hit a mark. I have to hit that mark. That mark, that's like, I have to hit that mark. Doesn't matter, hit the mark. And I'm telling you, I'm busting my arse to get to that mark. And if I'm late, like I've not just let the actor down. I've let myself down. Yeah. I've let the cameraman down. I've let these ones down, the smoke guys down, the fire down. I'm costing money. For fuck's sake, you know. And now all of a sudden, what's happening? Confidence.
Yeah.
Starting to drop a wee bit. Now you're at 88%. Bang, you don't hit that mark again. You're fucking back to square one at 70%. Now you need to nail that mark.
Yeah.
And you find yourself fucking running that mark just to get there. Because you don't want to let nobody down. Yeah. And that's all in your mind as well. It's a fucking serious mental game, acting, because the amount of no's are always going to overpower the yeses. And there's only 0.0% one people of whatever million actually get the opportunity of being huge, successful stars. But man,
I mean,
you just know stars.
You said about acting, but it's probably, you can also apply that to life in terms of there is, you know, having confidence to have a go or do what it is that you want to do or try something out is 99% of the battle. And it's not saying that, oh, everybody else is against you, whatever else. Your own head's against yourselves going, nah, you can't do it. You know?
Last year we're shooting, everything's grand. You've got Anya, she's in, it's all great. Anya, pleased to meet you. Lovely meeting you. Dead on, Anya, happy days. Anya's back. Anya's won a Golden Globe. Anya's no different. Anya's the same Anya.
Yeah.
But you're automatically going, all right. Yeah. You know, you're just, is everything still the same? Are we all right? Okay. Yeah. Hiya. Yeah. Cool. Happy days. So, and then you realize, fucking hell, you're working with Golden Globe winners, man. It's the same with us doing this show. They're working with me. And somebody downed it up to me the other day and went, fuck me, man, can't believe you won an Oscar. I went, what? What? And then it says, the show, you did the show. And I went, oh, fuck yeah. He went, man, there's only like 6 years in that movie. That's incredible, man. Can't believe you just won an Oscar with it. And then cheers, mate. Happy days. He's brought the confidence back up to 88 when he's shooting this, you know.
Yeah.
And there's moments it's on your mental mind. It's the same as the kids at the minute. They're, you know, I don't want to do that homeschooling.
Yeah.
Mentally, it's in their minds. We need to break it. We need to try and break those moments where they're there. And you know, if you took the PlayStation and the rooms and put them in the classroom, would they still play the game the same way? Sure, they wouldn't. They've got their friend. He's talking to this one. They're talking to that one. They'll run the toilet 6 or 7 times just because they can. You know, it's all mental in my mind. I said something important the other day. It's very important. Well, I think it's important. I said it. It's very important after COVID that we all socialize a lot. Like, I mean, a hell of a lot. And the reason being is this. I personally, myself, know people in jail.
Yeah.
And I know people who have come out of jail, myself. And I know those people. And all they're trying to do every single day is go back to jail.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't want to, they're killers, not murderers, man. We're not talking about serious, we're just talking about like petty crime.
Yeah. But they've been institutionalized and therefore they can't socialize.
They're used to the cell. They're used to their bed. They're used to not being allowed. They're used to rules.
Yeah.
Having the freedom to do something every day. Geez, I don't know. And then new technologies coming out every 6 months now, not every 5 years. So iPhones and all these things and face apps and all these things. These guys went to jail with Blackberries.
Yeah.
And now, what's all this here? iPhone malarkey? What's that? What's Spotify? You know? And you're like, you gotta, Jesus, you know. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of stuff in those jails. But I'm just saying to you, that's in COVID, if we're all locked in our own houses and all of a sudden everything opens up again, we're going to have to push ourselves to get out there.
To socialize, especially. I
mean, we're going to have to, it's going to be easy for me to say, nah, Mick, can't be annoyed with a couple of Guinness tonight. It's going to, listen, I'll speak to you on the phone, I'll have tea here. You know, it's like, you just want to stay in your own bubble.
Anyway, introverted, COVID's been all right, but like, there's probably a lot of people who wouldn't maybe have been introverted who now may well have been. In terms of just where we're talking mental health, obviously we now have a mental health champion in Northern Ireland, which is a thing on a temporary basis. You know, in January 2020, when my youngest son died, you and Mick Conlon had come out and very publicly challenged the Stormont executive and the health minister, saying, okay, you know, something needs to be done, which I was very grateful for, and we communicated via text and stuff. But I suppose I never, because I was obviously where I was and just trying to deal with things, how did that come about? What, you know, what got you to the place to sit down and go, okay, here it is, what we need to do? You know, I mean, obviously for me, I was still just in shock, never mind in grief. But, you know, I was grateful when I sent it. Obviously, we communicated with each other and was saying, like, thank you so much, but I was still in a total state of shock. Then we hit COVID, and I suppose a mental health champion came in, but you were looking to try and do a lot of things and getting a lot of support for it. So
we still are, to be honest. Both of us are, me and Michael, and it's something that we were doing before January 2020.
Yeah.
And when that happened with the young lad, we decided now's the time to try and at least kickstart something.
Yeah.
And that's because we believe that people in our area, whether you like it or not, Mick saying this, and me included, we're not given the opportunities that other people are. And some of our areas will always be looked down upon and never given the opportunity of other kids because that's the area that you're from. And we spoke a wee bit about that earlier, and that's fine. But what we wanted to do was hit those areas with love, support, but in a real way. Like we wanted, and my plan, I came up with a plan. He okayed it. We were happy enough to do this. He's then trying to do it. He had a fight. Then I was filming. I was away in Budapest. And then by the time I was coming back, so then I had to go to Bordeaux. He had to then go to England. I was in Brighton for 3 weeks. And by the time I literally just get back through lockdown.
Yeah.
So all that, we literally just tried to communicate as much as we could throughout it. And the reason being, Mick, is because we believe it's something that's not spoken about a lot.
Yeah.
We believe I've lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
A lot of friends. And I know for a fact there could be a lot more. Coming out of COVID, it's not going to be easy. Like I said, people's losing their jobs, they're losing their livelihoods, they're losing the will, and there's people losing families. They're losing, like, people's dying in COVID. COVID's not just a word. There's people dying. You know, let's not forget that. This is a very serious virus, and if it wasn't, then we wouldn't have the world shut down as it was. But the reason being is because mentally we thought that we should be knocking each door in those streets and spending 15 to 20 minutes in those houses asking people, is there anything we can do to help in any way, brighten up your day, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to get off your chest? Can we speak to, are we allowed to speak to kids? No. Why? There needs to be a parent present or a consent form saying there's so many rules. We can't just, so then we were planning on going to schools where we could then tackle the classrooms. And I was against that, me personally, because if you came to my school, I'm not going to stand up and tell you that I'm being bullied and beat every day. I have to walk 18 different ways home just to get home because I ain't getting beat black and blue because I want to be an actor. Either I'm a queer, or either I'm a queer. That's all he says. There's no other words. You're just a queer. That's all you are. And then bang, spitting on you. Look, anything. Just, I used to get I'd run home every day. If my dad wasn't picking up my mom, somebody wasn't picking me up, that's the madness I had to go through school. So my argument to the health minister and the Michael and the group as well up in White Rock and over in the Shankill was, lads, school's not going to open. School's just going to get the big mouth bully boys to speak louder.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to get an opportunity with the kids that we need to speak to. And let me tell you something now. You see the big mouth bully boys, we need to speak to them on their own because they're just defending or protecting something else. They're diffusing it because, you know, Mick, two of the boys that beat me and bullied me killed themselves.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Now, I seen that a mile away because I seen while they were beating me, you know, and when I seen them on their own, they didn't care. But when they were with their friends, they had to jump me. There's a bit of a difference. It was, you know, and it's not because they're on their own they wouldn't have beat me. They're, you know, it's not about that. It's about being a hard man, showing off. So there's a lot of those people that in the areas that we want to speak to, and to help mentally. There's a lot of kids in the areas that have dreams to be boxers. So my idea was get the boxers to go and speak to the kids that want to be boxers. Let's find out from social media who wants to be a footballer. I have connections. Let's get some footballers up the road. You've got connections, Michael. Let's beg and ask some Northern Ireland, Clivenville, Linfield footballers, local footballers, even try and get some Premier League footballers over, and let's get them to walk these streets with us. I want to walk the streets. I don't want cameras. I'm not doing a PR stunt here. I want somebody to meet me at the middle of fucking Beachmount or Springfield or White Rock, and I want to walk the street. And then they're all coming in with, oh, you won't be protected. We need to get people here to make sure you're all right. And so we've gone through a process before January for about 3 months of trying to help. And when the scenario happened in January, then yes, that's when we decided let's attack, with all due respect, social media and show people that we're out to support and show people that we're here to talk and not to forget. And, you know, and then they asked Robin Swan for help. Now, with all due respect, look, when we done that, then, like I says, COVID happened and the health ministers had a lot more to worry about, I suppose. But the one thing we don't want to forget is the mental health side of it. And they're all ages. They're all ages. People 52, 64. These guys are killing themselves. 64 years of age.
I think even with COVID now, most people have had to examine where their mental health is at. So although it may have delayed what your Michael's plans were, you may get a more understanding reception from people in general and the media in general, because at some point in the last 12 months, everyone has been climbing the walls.
Cool FM are very supportive. Pete Snodden and all them are very supportive. The theatres have been very supportive. I mean, we've got a lot of people behind us who are willing to help. We just need to have the right format. so that we can do it in the right way. And then also the idea is great, but we now need the legal side of it to be okay. And as much as we're not earning, it's not about money, it's about safety. Like, I'm not allowed to be alone unless there's 3 other chaperones with a young lad. My problem is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I can't speak to this 16-year-old with you fucking present. I need the man dad to split. I need somebody to split. Or can you put, I mean, fuck me, can we sort something else out? Because nobody's going to speak. And I understand there's rules, but can we fucking stick a camera or something on, was my idea. I climbed the walls trying to get moments where I could go and speak to them. Youth clubs were great. And they were going, yes, okay, we can allow you to speak to them. But one of youth club boys have to be present. He's not going to open up to me if, and then with all due respect, Mick, I'm an actor. Who the fuck wants to open up to me? What am I going to ask them? But these are things that were going through my head. And I'm asking myself these questions. What am I doing? Like, and at a certain point, like, I was going out and going, I need to worry about myself and my own mental health as much as I'm trying to give advice to others. I don't know where I'm getting it. I fucking just got an or no for a job that I thought I was nailed on, again, and that happens. So, Mark, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of work can be done. I just believe it can be done on a more loving, one-to-one way. And I don't mean just me. I'm on about like a team of people, like, what do you call it? Speed dating. Only speed dating in, not confession boxes, but, something that, kids are safe. They can talk to you through a wee glass or whatever. But you understand what I mean? Like, the kids will always be safe. The reason we're here is to protect the kids. Let's get that very clear. And it'll be really great. Look, I would love it if my daughter at 13 could go and speak to somebody of an adult age, like Danielle, for example, sister, and tell her everything that she needs to tell her that she can't tell me and mum. Because that's happening already, whether you like it or not. Boyfriend stuff, this said that one, somebody said this one to her and that one. She can't say to me, I'll crack up. She can't say to her mummy, I'll crack up. She has to say to somebody else so that they can give her the advice to say, look, from now on, when that happens, just ignore it or say this back, just something that helps them engage where they're not going, right, I'm going to this door, because that's more drama. It's just causing kids more fuss, you know what I mean? So all those scenarios, I would like to try and, that's something I'm very open to helping with in any way I can. If anyone has any ideas of how we should be doing that, then I'm all for it,
Well, I mean, certainly I really appreciate it, even, communicating with you and you and Mick sticking stuff in the press. And as I say, obviously I was in shock.
I struggled. I struggled at 14.
I did the same. I found it tight, like,
that wasn't an easy time. And where we're from, with all due respect, me and you, and I don't mean like it's not Beirut. We're not in the middle of a war zone, but we are. We were dealing with like Catholics and Protestants and fighting and not knowing, like, trying to get the Botanic was a problem sometimes for us. And I can't imagine what kids would be going through at 14 again, and 13 and 14. I've got my own daughter.
Where it's the entire world in the palm of your hand on a phone. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
It's horrible. I've said this to my daughter already. My son's 10, my daughter's 13, and I've said already, listen to me, you gotta put that down sometimes. You gotta focus more on the real world, real life, real love, friends. Never mind people who can contact you. Just never mind it. Please stop it, And it's a great, don't get me wrong, it's a great platform. I'm getting messages from Frank Bruno, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander. I'm getting messages from all different people across the world. You know what I mean? And like, that's great, social media in that sense. But don't you think for 1 second I'm not getting the other messages? You know what I mean? Why you? How did you get this? How the fuck have you had this? Are you not that wee rat from White Rock? Not the state of your ears. You're not a real gypsy. they're all there still, Mick. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Just got to try and block them out and go, listen, don't worry about it. You know, there's a
Stay
lot of jealousy
positive.
in the world, and jealousy's an awful, awful, awful thing. 'Cause it makes people do
Yeah,
and
it's a
say
harmless
things
trait.
that they
It's a bad trait.
just can never take back. You know, and you know what, Mick, you know. So, but yeah, I'm definitely up for doing some help on it. I think we should aim to try and do something on it. Any ideas that anyone has, we should put it out there more. And it's not something that has to be done in a day.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be great if we could do it like as a nation, you know,
Yes,
and
certainly.
tackle it, like spend one full week or one full month just tackling this, you know. Honest to God, make every day like a sports day for the kids. Let them have a bit of fun, a bit of banter, and then try and get, you know, involved and speak to them and stuff like that. I'd love somebody to come to me at 14 years of age and just go, right, okay, I know your teacher says you can't be an actor.
Yeah.
And I know they all says this here and that, but if you're an actor, what do you want to be an actor doing? What movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Someone
nobody
to
ever
drink
asked
for a
that.
bit, like.
Just somebody just to agree with me, just to come on the same page for a minute here and see something from my side, you know? And if a 14-year-old kid can say to you that they want to be a poet and wear pink roller boots and jump about the stage, then you've got to turn around to yourself and go, right, listen to me, kid. Class. And I know your parents probably think that's nuts. Fair play. But what song do you want to dance to?
Yeah.
I want to jump on that page, you know?
Yeah.
I want to get involved. I don't mean speaking, tell them like they're absolute morons. I mean, I'm here with you. Let me in, you know? And I think that's the way that we can tackle this as much as possible. It'd be great. If we had the second thing was a social media lockdown.
Yeah.
So from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, we were asking all parents to turn off their mobile phones.
Yeah.
And spend time with your kids. And if you're working 6 to 7, then do 7 to 8. And if you're working, then do it in the morning. But do it in one of the hours. And what we're asking you to do is take a photograph of you and the family at 7 and take another photograph at 8.
Right, okay.
Photograph with the phones in the hand saying internet's going off, and a photograph saying internet back on. So that we can tick and say, yes, brilliant. That's them done. If every family can do that, I says, for a full week and register, can we not send them out something?
Yeah.
Can we not get money together and send them out like pizza on a Friday for the family? You know, reward the people that's doing these things and bring the pizza companies in, all the local pizza companies, get them all involved. And let's do this, you know. And that was a good idea that was happening. And again, COVID happened, lockdown.
Well,
so
I mean,
I hope we go back.
We're due to be out of lockdown at some point, you know, in the coming months. So these things can all be looked at again in the coming months.
100% they can.
I think, to be honest, I think you may get a lot more engagement and involvement with people just because they've been locked down for a year. Going, actually, it is about keeping this right, you know.
I think you'll not just get kids; you'll get adults, and that's a different ball game there. Because I mean, I need to speak to adults at times just to keep myself right. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
I need to speak to a wife sometimes and go, right, listen, it's been a bad week.
Yeah.
Let's just relax and see what next week brings. And
so
sometimes these things happen.
What's next for you, Packy? What's after?
I'm busy. I'm shooting piggies now for the next few months. We don't finish until the end of May, I think. And we've been going from January. That's normal. Nothing new there. That's normal dates of filming. And then I'm doing another couple of things back home, and then I may be doing a big gig very soon. And I can't really say too much on that because I'm not allowed. But again, look, listen, it may be big. It is big. It is big. Look, listen, I'm very aware it's big. It's just I don't like to look at anything anymore like it's big. I just like to look at it as a job. I'm going back to live in Belfast because that's where I live. And it's all cool. And I'll be honest, if I don't get another acting job, I can gladly say I've given this my best shot. Like I says, I'm turning 40. I've done the West End. I've enjoyed it. I've done America. I've done Australia. I've done Tasmania. You know, and I've been most of the places around the world. I've enjoyed every bit of it. will it continue? I'd love it to, yes. But I promise you, like, if I didn't get another acting job, I'm not gonna.
You'd be happy.
I'm not gonna break. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I'm happy enough to go to my own job. I'm happy enough to work. And to be honest with you, my daughter's up and coming at 13, and she's probably going to take over the gauntlet very soon. Not that I'm retiring. I'm only 40. I think my career's only going to start. I'm just trying to explain to you that I'm very happy with the work that I've done.
Yeah.
And if it didn't continue, like, who am I to complain? That's all I mean, you know. But I promise you, it'll not be luck. It will be persistence, and I will be persistent and lucky to get to the next level if I can. You know.
Brilliant, Packy. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Mark. Okay, Mark.